series of books have been described by its author Emer Conlon as ideal for little boys who love trucks, diggers and tractors, and little girls who love colourful books with a great story and characters they can fall in love with. Emer joins us in the studio now. Good morning, Emer.
Good morning, Marissa.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
And along with her, she has brought a number of copies of her books and some other colourful items to light up the studio this morning.
Indeed, I took my friends with me today.
Emer, you're a local girl.
I am, yes, just literally around the corner in Park Phyllis there, and I'm Dundalk reared, I suppose. Lived in Dublin for a while but came back to Dundalk then.
And you're Dundalk based now?
Dundalk based is right, yeah. So a notion came upon me about 5 years ago that I wanted to write a children's series of books, and then it came to fruition after research and time and effort. This time last year, we launched the first book probably in November last year, which is The Adventure of Tim the Tipper and Quentin's Quarry, and literally 2 weeks ago I collected the second book in the series, so I'm very excited.
I'd say so. That must be a great feeling to actually go in and pick it up and hold it in your hand.
Absolutely. I still go into bookshops now and I'm kind of going, oh my god, there's my book, and when people are hovering beside it, I'm like, buy the book, move over, go, you know, it's ridiculous. I'm like a child myself seeing it, and I hope I never lose that, you know, excitement when I said, I hope I don't become blasé about the whole thing, you know.
Oh, I'm sure you couldn't. So, as I said, Vroom-Town series, so we've 2 already, and I would assume because we've got series, there's more to come?
Yes, I actually have 5 more written, and I have titles for 35 other books, so I would hope that this eventually would be a movie and maybe a cartoon series. I mean, I'm aiming high, but I still believe that Thomas the Tank Engine had to start on one shelf in one shop some time ago.
Started on one shelf in one shop, written, I think, by a British minister, but I can take you back over 30 years ago, and I was working in Shepperton Studios, and this very eccentric gentleman moved into the office beside us with his production company, and they were going into production of this new children's television series, and everybody thought he was off his head. It was about trains.
Oh my God.
And then word went around that he had got one of the Beatles to do some voiceovers. Look.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so he had a dream, and
wow,
that's he dreamed high, and it came to fruition. So
definitely,
yeah, give up on that.
And the book is also there's an Gaelic version of book 1. There will be of book 2 as well, which is great for the Gael skulls, etc. And they're also linked to a website, because I think nowadays children probably are playing with iPhones and computers and laptops, etc. At age 3, 4, 5, they're picking them up and stuff. So I thought an online element to it would actually help people and help the children to get involved with the characters and enjoy the reading. And if they're going to play games, they might as well play them on a website that is pertaining to a book, which is slightly educational as well. So there's word games and puzzles and everything on Vroom-Town.ie as well. And there's an Irish version, a complete Irish version of the website also. So hopefully it'll cover all angles in that regard.
Did you translate it yourself, Emer?
I have to admit, no. I'm embarrassed to say no. I should have paid more attention at school.
But listen, that gives somebody else another
there you go.
Input into it. I have to say, they're remarkable. They really are. They're very, very colourful, and that, of course, is the essence of what you want when you're dealing with children.
Absolutely.
And the illustrations are beautiful. You don't illustrate yourself, but you very much are involved in the process.
Exactly, yeah. I would, when this all started, I would have had sketches of exactly what I wanted, and literally traits, characteristics and colours, and each character would have that attributed to it, and then it would be sent off to my illustrator, who's amazing, John McCormack from Dublin, and he did the illustrations, but I promise I wrecked his head. He has the patience of a saint, because even down to the air horns and the hats and everything, it's like, no, it needs to be to the left, it needs to be bigger, smaller. So he deserves a medal, because but I had a vision, and it had to be that way, because otherwise I would be, that's the only thing I would see in the book, would be that thing, you know, not that anybody would even notice, but still I would. So the characters had to be right.
Had you a background in writing before, Emer?
No, I did. I suppose I was always creative and I enjoyed writing essays and things like that and short stories. But this is just a little bit of a new departure in terms of the children's books and things like that. And I remember when I first had the idea, I said it to one of my friends who was a teacher, and she said, she took me into a bookshop and she said, Emer, just look. And I thought I was one of the first few people that would have thought of writing a children's book at the time, 5 years ago. And she said, how are you going to, compete against this? So I put it on the back burner for about 6 months, but it was in me and I just had to do it. And I think it's better to kind of look back and say, yeah, I'm glad I did it, rather than I should have done that, why didn't I? So this is the end result now, and hopefully we'll continue for another 35 books if everybody loves them and enjoys them as much as I do.
And is there a lot, as you said there, when you went into the store, and did it almost put you off? Almost,
yeah,
because it didn't. When you went in and looked around the store, was there an awful lot of children's books?
Oh my gosh, yeah, ceiling to floor, and probably at the back wall of this particular shop was all children's books, and they were kind of all higgledy-piggledy on the shelf. It wasn't as if they were structured that there's 1, 2. They were overlapping. It was unbelievable. But what I did notice, and what everybody will notice out there if they go into a bookstore and they look at the books that they're intending to buy and they turn it to the back, 95% are printed in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, etc. This book and the Vroom-Town series are printed in Ireland. They're printed in Drogheda, just up the road, which is important to try and keep jobs local. Sometimes, the cost is obviously higher, so hopefully I can sustain that. But everything pertaining to the book, like the website development, the book itself, the t-shirts and stickers that we have, they're all printed and made locally, so that's important. But it did turn me off for about 6 months, yes, Caroline, and then I thought, you know what, it's still in me there somewhere, so I have to just go for it and see what happens.
Felt right to you.
Felt right to me, yeah.
And it looks right as well.
So thank you.
High quality. Able to have children yourself?
I don't have children, but hopefully one day I might. And if I can't be a major part of one child's life, maybe I can be a teeny tiny bit of loads of children who like the book. Maybe I can do it that way.
So lovely, that really is. No, I'm just wondering, so it was your inner child that informed this?
Absolutely, that comes out quite a lot, I have to say, but yes, it definitely was. And the best part of having written the book is going into schools and reading and seeing their faces light up and be really enthusiastic about what goes on and stuff. And at the end we do an interaction session. So although the book initially I had thought was going to be for boys because of the gender reading gap between children between 5 and 8. Now it depends on the parents, it depends on the school, etc. But in general there is a reading gap because boys don't tend to read as much as girls. But because it's about something that they've an interest in, they love it. Now, I've since realised that girls love the book equally as much, and in fact at the end of the reading sessions I ask them, would anybody like a girl truck? And they're like, yes, even some of the boys. So there might be a pink truck called Glitter or Sparkle maybe in one of the books coming up maybe. We'll see.
A big
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, Caroline. You have 2 girls. I have, she's nearly 9, and when she was younger, she would have read, all the Thomas books, and she loved Mr. Men. She liked the Little Miss as well. But, I think children have a very young age. If it's colourful enough and it captures the imagination, they're not that concerned that it's for boys or girls.
Yeah, exactly. And as I say, initially I was thinking of the boys and using that kind of as a marketing selling point, but you're absolutely right, it's a book for children.
It is, and I mean, if you look at the biggest success in children's writing in the last few years has to be the Gruffalo. Now, the Gruffalo is not pink and furry, but every kid loves it. Absolutely adores it.
There's something attractive to them about Gruffalo. It's amazing, and the stories, I mean, they're massively successful and they've got a huge amount of merchandise and they're global, so one day you never know. Vroom-Town.
The other trick is maybe appealing to the parents as well.
Yeah.
If you can hit on something that the parents enjoy reading, and there was some wonderful books I read for my daughter when she was younger, and then there was some awful trash, and a lot of it was that stuff that was pink and fluffy, furry, little poems and silly little names like Ditsy and Dotsy and Daisy. Oh, please, can we put this away? But then you get your teeth into something like Julia Donaldson is, yes.
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying it as well.
Like, I can go there. Like, bedtime is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, for bedtime, and then again, it's not too long, because I remember trying to skip pages and wondering what you
I'm sure you're caught out sometime, yeah.
Well, we all do that. You miss the plot.
So it's a nice and concise, you know, and it's the right amount, you know.
Yeah, yes,
That's not
I
too
hope
long,
so.
because when you are reading to a child and you are tired yourself and you want them to be tired, you think, oh God, how many more pages?
I know, yeah, exactly. So there's little text on exactly on each page, and that's it then. So.
We're just going to take a track now, but stay with us because we're talking to Emer Conlon, local author of the Vroom-Town series. On Dundalk FM 100, and we're talking to Emer Conlon, local author of the Vroom-Town series of books. These are children's books with marvellous illustration. I was just actually flicking through there, Emer, when we were off air, and what I think is lovely is a lot of the vocabulary you're using, and they're words that maybe traditional kids don't use now, like robbers or hooligans.
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
And it's great to introduce children to vocabulary like that at a young age.
Yeah, exactly. So they're familiar and learning all the time, isn't it?
And there's a tendency, I think, now, as well, children these days don't seem to want to know how to spell because they don't need to. You know, they either have a spell check on the computer or it's all this text
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
So I've noticed in a lot of children's books that they're sticking with monosyllables and you know, they're treating the children like imbeciles, so they're going to behave like imbeciles, whereas, you know...
Yes, I know, and that's why I think the age range really suits the book, because they say the 3, 4, 5-year-olds are looking at the colours and everything like that, but the older ones then can actually get their teeth into the story, learn new words and everything, you know, so they're looking at the text and the vocabulary, so hopefully it'll work at, I suppose, both ends of the age range, if you like.
So this series, I guess the second book, is 5 years in the making, is that what you said?
Yes.
And you have another 5 written. Are you now... Is this your full-time occupation, or are you still working?
Yes, I'm still working. I set up a marketing company about 6 years ago, and prior to that I worked with Macavani Motors. They're a main Scania dealer, and Volkswagen commercial vehicle partner in Monaghan, and I still work with them a few days a week, which is great. It's marvellous. But I suppose that's where I got the inspiration for the books, because looking out the window at lunchtime, obviously, because I'll be working all the other time, I saw trucks and diggers and plants, and I thought to myself, as we mentioned earlier, there's Thomas the Tank Engine for trains, and there's cars, which were cars. Now there's planes from Disney, but there is no trucks. There's no film about trucks, so I'm trying to get Vroom-Town out there. And hopefully maybe one day Disney might buy it and say, we won't bother writing our own, we'll just use this one because it's already done, and buy it from me, and that would be just, that's the dream. That would be marvellous, yeah, that's the dream.
And it's extraordinary, isn't it? Like, as you pointed out there is no major movie or franchise or anything about trucks, and yet every child loves a truck.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I've even seen children come in with their customers, you know, with their dads, who would be customers of, say, Macavani Motors, and they're like 5, 6, 7, 8, and even the older, the teenagers, but they're in awe of the massive trucks and the lights and the noises even, and it's just amazing that nobody has actually come up with something like that, even Disney themselves. So I'm a bit ahead of Disney at this stage.
But it is that classic vroom vroom. How many little kids do you see with just 4 wheels on the ground going vroom vroom, and they can repeat that for hours and get great joy out of it?
Yeah, it's amazing. So hopefully this will take on. They'll just, because the characters in there, some of them are constant throughout the first couple of books and certainly will be going forward, and I think that they'll fall in love with them and they'll want to know what's happened to Screech, and was Terrible Terry still mean to Trevor, and you know, and still going back to Bully Dozer, who's a bit mean. I suppose the essence of the stories is good and bad, and there's always kind of a meanie in the story that gets his comeuppance in the end. And that's just the basic level of children's books, isn't it? Goodies and baddies. But I suppose not to get too, I suppose, serious about it, but there is, bullying is a word that is very serious these days, and maybe more so than it ever was. And it does touch on that at a young age, that, Bully Dozer's actually a character, and then there's Terrible Terry. And they are mean to the goodies, if you like, but they always get their comeuppance, and it's always talked about amongst the other characters in Vroom-Town. So hopefully the children will, catch on to that at some point and say, listen, if this is happening, then we talk to each other, because they all have little chats in the yard about different things.
And we have a cutout here of one of the baddies in the studio, but I suppose because he gets his comeuppance, then he's slightly rehabilitated, so he can become endearing.
Exactly. In actual fact, towards, not to give away the plot now, but towards the end of the story, he's put on the naughty pit because he's a little bit bold. You see, they have naughty steps and pits in Vroom-Town too. So yes, he kind of is a little bit remorseful at the end, but he does have a little thought, well, that was fun, I might do it again. So there's, there could be 150 books, Marissa, I think, about Terrible Terry. We'll leave it open.
150 books in Disney Pixar.
Oh yeah, wouldn't it be great?
Hollywood, yeah. Your distribution, is it available? The book available nationwide?
It is, yeah. Eason's nationwide distribution actually took it on a few weeks ago, which is amazing. So it's available in every Eason store throughout Ireland, and also Argosy, which are the distributor for your local bookstore nationwide, if you like, also took it on board. And locally here, it's available in Drogheda and Dundalk and Carroll's and in Eason's, and it's also available on the major book suppliers online, Amazon, Play.com, and also available on Vroom-Town.ie. And when buying the book from Vroom-Town.ie, they get a free blue metallic envelope, which the children love equally as much as the book, I've discovered. And it will be, addressed to the little boy or girl, so that makes it all more special occasion, for the child. And it's all included in the price and delivery at $9.50 actually online. So,
what about international distribution? Is that?
Yes, I would love to do that. At the moment, it's just all through the books, or all through online, through the likes of Amazon, etc., which is great. I went to York last weekend just on a little, I say a little jaunt, that sounds terrible, but I had a couple of appointments, and I just thought I need to go, because the book buyers they're buying for Christmas at the moment. I thought I had a very short window. After that, they're not really interested in taking on a new product. So, I tried to get into a couple of stores there, and nothing definite at the moment, but I did an awful lot of research, and I met by chance a couple of other people that may be of great help to me in trying to get into New York with the Irish American community, which is amazing. I've been in touch with them since I came back. So when you go over with the objective of getting one thing, sometimes randomly something else actually happens, and that could be the way to get through. So at the moment, global distribution and dominations is from Amazon, and actually most of the online book suppliers have the book for sale as well.
I suppose it is slightly easier maybe now with the likes of Amazon, because I'm sure a lot of people are buying their books online.
Completely. It's some people still want to go in and touch and feel the book, flick through it, etc. But honestly, the market for online books is massive, and it's getting bigger. And for me, or for anybody involved in an awful lot of businesses and especially books, it's amazing, because you've got a global audience all of a sudden, without having to travel from Dundalk at all, really, to be honest. It's there, and it's up to you then to kind of promote it on these various sites and things like that. And sometimes you do have to invest a bit of money to get yourself on the top 10 list or whatever. But at the same time, the world is a large place with an awful lot of children who, would love Vroom-Town and indeed any other books, so it's amazing. Technology is fabulous for that. Brilliant.
Yeah. And have you ever, because you're quite an enterprising person, have you ever thought of maybe leaving Disney Pixar out of the equation and making that movie yourself?
Well, actually, I didn't. But maybe that's a good idea. Could I rob that?
You can rob it. I don't have a patent on it. No, I know that there's a number of animation companies have opened in this country over the last few years. So,
well, funny you should say that. Last year, when I had just literally got the book in November, I was frantically trying to get it out for Christmas, and trying to get the website and everything done at the same time. And a company in Dublin, a cartoon company, had expressed an interest in maybe sitting down and talking about perhaps doing a cartoon first. Now, at the time, my headspace was absolutely minimal, and it's something that I never went back to. And then I was thinking, well, I wait for Disney, because Disney wouldn't want. I know, I do giggle myself, I really do.
That's what
but
speed dial.
yeah, they just don't answer. But it's in my phone, it's there. But because Disney wouldn't want to divide royalties, or to divide, you know, somebody else had, I suppose, the ownership rights of the cartoon or whatever. But then people are saying Emer, and they giggled quite like he did. Would you just, you know, get for the now? I mean, they could have a script on their desks at the moment, and they won't really care about Vroom-Town at all. So actually, it's something that I have been thinking about, going back to having a look, So you never know. Watch the space.
I know, but with me, I'd be spending my time casting it. You know, I'd have people in mind for the different characters, the voices I'd want, and...
I know. Well, you know
You've done
what?
that.
Well, you know, I've started with the theme tune and the music, which is going to be sung by Gary Barlow, because I'm a bit of a fan.
Okay.
And when I was finishing the first book, I have the script for the movie, and it's really... And every book, I can't tell you what it is, but every book, it'll all knit together. So when I'm writing the books, I know what the thread is between them that will make sense for people for the movie, you see. Now, whether you read the books or you didn't, it's not going to be relevant, but if you did, there's another layer for these children's books, and what happened and why the people and why the baddies were baddies. But yes, hopefully Gary will sing the theme tune.
We'll see. Cast any of the other roles?
No, just handsome men from Hollywood. It's quite a general qualification.
You wouldn't necessarily see them as Irish, would you?
Oh, they could be. Colin Farrell would be quite nice.
Yeah, I can see Colin Farrell as that black crook there now.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a Colin Farrell look about him.
Yes, well, if he's listening today, he can contact us through the studio. It would be great.
This guy's a bit Brendan Gleeson, isn't he?
Actually, you know what? This is great. He is.
Do you need a casting agent?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But I just think, they say there's a novel in all of us, and unfortunately some people actually write them and they shouldn't. But, you know, this is wonderful stuff, but I don't know how many people would actually think of writing a children's book.
I know.
It would never be something that would occur to me. And that's why I asked you about that question in the beginning. Had you been writing before? Because sometimes it's just, the likes of Madonna, and it seems to be celebrities because, you know, they can't do anything else. And they churn out this awful rubbish that somebody else illustrates for them and put their name on it. Or,
yes, yeah.
You know, I think somebody in the royal family did it as well.
Fergie did it about helicopters, didn't she?
That wasn't what a name, but anyway. Right. But, you know, to me, it's a much more difficult thing to do, to write a captivating children's book, because, you know, there's so much out there. It's a difficult imagination to capture because they have their own.
Yes.
They have their own ideas and their own. So to hit on something that will actually engage them is such an accomplishment.
Well, you know, and I can tell you, they don't hold back. If they're not interested, that's it. They will tell you. So throughout, as I said, the readings and everything, they just seem to be enthralled in it, and that's where, when I look at their face and go, right, the 15-hour days are worth it. That's amazing to have that reaction in somebody who's not doing it because they feel they have to, not being polite as we probably would do ourselves, because we've got that filter. Children don't have filters, so the way they see it is the way it comes out, kind of. It's very exciting.
And have they ever told you what you might have done better?
No, but I do say to them, who's your favourite character? Would you like to see a different character? What colours would they be? They haven't.
Okay.
They actually haven't.
Well, that's good.
That must be a positive thing.
That's a very positive thing taken from me.
Yeah, but they do ask the most bizarre questions, you know, that are really nothing to do with the actual story, but does Bully Dozer have a girlfriend? And, you know, different things like that, and I'm just thinking on my feet going, well, he has a friend who's a girl, but, you know, they're not boyfriend and girlfriend just yet. He's a little young. So you kind of go, you have to be the moral compass as well, and, you know, try and do all these things in the split second. But they're hilarious. I get great energy from them, actually, you know, to keep going.
Well, that's their job, their children.
Yes.
Look, they say if you give a child the gift of reading, you're giving it a gift for life. And I would very much subscribe to that. These are absolutely beautiful books.
Thank you.
Well done to you, Emer. I wish you the best of luck. We all wish you the best of luck, and with the Hollywood bit, because you've already said it's here.
I'll remember you.
You will remember us when you're, going to the Oscars or something, or even if you had a few roles there that we...
Definitely, absolutely. Well, it was your idea, so I best include.
Okay. That's great. Emer Conlon, author of Vroom-Town, children's series of books. They're available nationwide in Eason's, and they'd make a wonderful gift for your children this Christmas. That's all we have time to